Today I'll be traveling all the way to Prague to try buchty, sweet fluffy buns that I've been curious to try since I saw them in a video game I play, Worldoftanks. Buchty go also by the name honzovybuchty, which literally means John's buns. And it turns out that Honza, or John in English, is a common character in Czech fairy tales, whose mom would prepare sweet buns for him to carry around in his adventures, giving him enough strength to even slay a dragon. The most typical filling would probably be povedel, which is a plum spread made without added sugar, but lacking that, I'll be using plumjam, which is also a popular choice. And I will be making them gluten-free as I'm gluten intolerant, but ingredient amounts and procedure are exactly the same as with regular all-purpose flour. So let's get started. I take a large bowl and I throw in 500 grams of flour, 2 eggs, 80 grams of sugar, 8 grams of dry yeast, and then 80 grams of butter that I've taken out of the fridge to soften up for about an hour at room temperature. Lastly, 320 milliliters of milk that I've warmed up in the microwave. I start by mixing everything with a spoon, and then I switch to a hand mixer for about 10 minutes until I obtain this very smooth and soft dough. Of course, you'll get much more elastic dough if you use wheat flour. And now it's time to cover it and allow it to rest for half an hour in a warm place. The next step is to take it out of the bowl, transfer it to a work surface, like this pastry mat, dust it lightly with flour, and gently roll it down to a rectangle. You'll have to be particularly gentle if it's gluten-free dough, as it doesn't hold as well as dough prepared with wheat flour. At this point, I cut it into 12 squares. I place about a teaspoon of plum jam on each of them, and I move on to fold the corners onto each other, wrap them around the jam, and seal the dough until I obtain a ball. And so on for all 12 of them. One of the reasons I like this particular flour is that it holds quite well this amount of handling despite not having any gluten. I brush the bottom of an oven tray with melted butter so that I can place the buns into it, one next to the other, brushing them with more butter as I arrange them, so that they separate from each other while proofing and baking, at least to some extent. That's it for now, they're ready to proof for approximately 1 hour. And here they are, doubled in size. So while I preheat the oven, I combine an egg yolk with a tablespoon of milk, and I use it to brush the top of the buns. Time to bake them at 180 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. So here you go, out of the oven. The egg wash seemed to have browned a little too much, but other than that, I think they really look good. While they're still hot, I brush them again with a little melted butter, and once they've cooled down, I can dust them with some icing sugar. Well, I doubt that my buchty have magical powers like Honza's, but they still look delicious, soft and fluffy, and they taste great too, the right amount of sweet. Perfect with some coffee or tea. And you can keep them for a few days, just as long as you reheat them for 20 to 30 seconds in the microwave before you eat them, which will soften them up as if they were just out of the oven. Other than fruit jam, they can also be filled with chocolate, poppy seeds or quark cheese, and they're sometimes served with vanilla sauce. For those of you who want to try to make buchty with regular wheat flour, I'm sure you'll obtain even better results than this. But if you're using gluten-free flour, let me just say that results may vary significantly depending on the flour mix you use. Just make sure that the mix contains a certain amount of thickening agents, normally 1 to 3%. Anyway, let me know if you make your own buchty, gluten-free or not. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. So, where are we going next?